So, what I'd like to talk to you about is my trip to Ghana and mosquitoes. Ghana and mosquitoes. Now, first off, I went to Ghana and I stayed in Ghana for 2 weeks. And shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Recently, I learned Kendrick Lamar made his way to Ghana. I love that. I love that Kendrick, around the same time we made it to Ghana. Maybe he had been there before, maybe not, but 2022 was his year. 2022 was my year too, so that is so cool. Kendrick released a phenomenal record recently, and man, what a special record it is. Kendrick informs me about a lot of things. He puts things into perspective, as I'm sure he does for all of us. But it's like they said, it's like he said, everything is everything. None of it is coincidental. I love that. That's really what 10-9 is all about. Just everything is everything. Nothing is coincidental. There we go. Yeah, so Kendrick made his way to Ghana this year. I made my way to Ghana this year too, by the grace of God. And mosquitoes, Ghana and mosquitoes. When I went to Ghana, I was prepared for the mosquitoes. And long story short, I didn't have an issue with the mosquitoes. None whatsoever. In fact, here I am in Los Angeles, and before my trip to Ghana, I was eating up. The mosquitoes got me in Los Angeles. I had a couple of mosquito bites, one on my left and one on my right arm, and they were pretty swollen and pretty bad. I had just gone outside. I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, and I'm speaking. This was over a month ago when those mosquito bites got me, and my trip to Ghana was more than 2 weeks ago. So right now it's probably 3.5 weeks ago. Probably it might have even been a month ago. Just for clarity, just for transparency. And so the mosquitoes got me in Los Angeles. They didn't get me in Ghana. Now, in order to prepare for the mosquitoes, I did have some insect repellent. I bought this while I was there, this little bottle here. I used it a couple of times, but aside from that, I wore long sleeves most of the time. This is one of the shirts I wore. I had 3 long sleeve shirts, and then I had my North Face lightweight windbreaker, very lightweight jacket, so I wasn't too hot in that sun. Oh, and that sun is hot, okay? But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful hot. I sat out there poolside and let that sun just activate my melanin. You dig? I had a wonderful time under that sun. My clothes were lightweight, and even though I was wearing 2 layers, I wore a long sleeve shirt and then a windbreaker on top, a very light windbreaker on top. I wasn't extremely hot, and my skin was protected. I wore long sleeve shirts. And if I did not wear a long sleeve shirt, I wore a short sleeve shirt with my jacket so that my arms were mostly protected. And then I always wore long pants. I never wore short pants unless I was on the tennis court one day, 1 or 2 days out of my journey. But that was for a very short time. And I didn't have an issue with mosquitoes. I stayed in the hotels, and there were no mosquitoes that, invaded my space. You know how that goes, where the mosquitoes fly by your ear when you're sleeping, and that can be so annoying. Just bzzz, like, oh, kill it. Didn't have that experience once in Ghana. And I stayed in hotels. I stayed in an Airbnb accommodation. I stayed in I stayed in a colonial style, I guess, apartment hotel type of arrangement. And I never once really, mosquitoes weren't a concern for me at all. Now, maybe if I had stayed longer, if I had worn short sleeves, shirts, and short pants, maybe it would have been a concern. And also, maybe if I had if I had stayed in the, I don't know, different environments outside of Accra, maybe it would have been a concern, but it really wasn't at all. At all. Some of the members of our group wore short pants every day. I was quite concerned for their well-being. I thought, man, you guys are bold. And I didn't hear any complaints from them. Now, they'd have to make their own videos and explain their situations. Maybe they did run into some issues with mosquitoes, but I, for one, did not. So I would say good luck with whatever you decide to do if you're going to Ghana. And I would say if you follow my example, wear long sleeves and make everything lightweight. Get yourself a little bit of the body insect repellent. You see that? All right. And enjoy yourself, because Ghana was quite an amazing experience. So that's what I was thinking about. I wanted to share my thoughts on the mosquitoes in Ghana. Also, bugs, insects of any kind. Personally, I didn't experience one bit of concern. There was no reason for me to be like, "Oh, Ghana, these insects, I can't deal with this." There was never a moment like that. I stayed at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Accra. I stayed at an Airbnb in Kumasi. I stayed at I forgot the name of it. It'll come to me and I'll add it in this video later when I'm editing. But no, didn't have any problems with it. When you go outside, you deal with the heat. That's about it. Now, something that I did encounter were bats. There were bats. So when I stayed at the colonial home, I noticed so I arrived at night, and then I noticed that the bats were flying around, and I looked up and I thought, are those birds or are those bats? And then I thought, man, I think those are bats. And sure enough, the next day I asked someone if he had seen, if I had to worry about mosquitoes or something like that. He said, no, you don't have to worry about that. It's everything's pretty chill. He said, but the bats will, swoop down and drink water from the swimming pool. And I was like, huh? So that confirmed it for me that bats were around. I said, bats swoop down and drink from the pool? He said, yeah. And so I said, okay. And then the next day or something, I was walking from my accommodation to the front door, leaving, my accommodation, and I noticed something on the ground moving, and it started moving a lot more, and it was a bat. It was a tired bat. It was daylight, and, bats are nocturnal. They sleep during the day and are active at night. So this was odd for the bat to be out and about during the day. And it was struggling, and it frightened me because the bat was so large, and there it was on the ground struggling to move, and I was like, yo, there are bats here, look at this, whoa. And so I started filming it, and then the guy who told me about the bats, I told him, hey, look at the bat. He's a Ghanaian, and the brother freaked out, man. Yeah, he jumped back and he was up against the wall and he was like, ah! I was like, man, you're a Ghanaian and you're tripping out more than me. I'm like just looking at it, fascinated. He's like, ah, get it away from me. And then so the bat didn't have enough energy, so it just kept, it was trying to, I guess, was trying to walk, on this hot pavement, and then finally it made its way to the tree, and then it posted up on the tree upside down to get its bearings and then to recharge. I didn't stick around for all of that. I saw that it made its way to the tree. Once it was at the tree, I walked away. And then after I came back to the accommodation, I discovered that it was gone. And the security guard who had been there for the day said, oh, yeah, the bat flew away. So I thought, oh, okay, it got its bearings, recharged, and then made its way home. So it's still alive. So that was cool. But yeah, bats. That's what I had to contend with, the bats. Other than that, everything was peaceful, beautiful. And it was a learning experience because for what I spent in Ghana on the hotels, I realized later I could have bought land in Ghana for what I spent on that trip. I could have bought land, people. I could own land in Ghana right now. And then after my trip, I flew back to America and I stopped in DC because my flight was from Accra to DC on Ethiopian Airlines. I get back to DC and I go to the African Museum of Art.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Richard.
Richard? How old are you?
10.
All right, Richard.
10.
Cool. Where are we? Where am I? Where is this? Kumasi. And there's a young woman there, a black woman from Compton, California. She's a photographer doing her thing. And I meet her and she tells me, or as I'm being introduced to her, part of the introduction is, oh yeah, she owns land in Ghana. And I'm like, oh, you own land in Ghana? She's like, yeah. And then she goes in and tells me her story about her family, being from Compton and everything. And then, she learned her roots and knowing her roots was very important to her. And I just thought, man, right on, sister, right on. So that was a very inspiring moment. So Ghana will definitely be in my future trips sooner rather than later, I hope. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you about Ghana. And that's it. Peace and blessings, y'all.